in my life, there are two tactics in the martial arts that have dominated my life. First was overwhelming an opponent with multiple attacks, quick attacks, as quick as possible. Power was not as important as continually striking your opponent and blocking, being ready to block, and hitting your opponent so many times that they're overwhelmed, that they just weren't prepared for it. And if you hit somebody enough times, they might get knocked out. It's gonna hurt, etc. And it's, I do believe it's an effective technique, or an effective tactic. And lately, in my more recent years of life, I've been learning a different approach, which is to strike one, like to strike your first strike, to have that be as strong as possible, as powerful as possible, as effective as possible. To like, if you could say, knock your opponent out with one punch, or somehow take your opponent out of the fight with one technique. Even something like an eye rake could qualify, or a choke, a sleeper hold, a choke hold, tiger claw, around the esophagus to the trachea. Strike to the balls, kick to the balls, knee to the balls, elbows, knees in general, just power strikes, Mike Tyson type shit, right? And that's actually the Okinawan karate way. And what I was talking about earlier is what I got from White Tiger style Kung Fu, which is a derivative of Kenpo karate, which many people would actually say that Kenpo is not karate. And there are some linguistic aspects that make that a somewhat sensible statement. But what I feel like right now is that just all these terms and classifications of martial arts, like this is Kenpo. Kenpo is law of the fist, way of the fist, fist method. So people translate it differently even. That's what Kenpo, and it can be spelled Kenpo with an N or Kenpo with an M. In China, our English transliteration from China tends to be with an M, Campo. And I think even the Japanese, when we transliterate that it's Kenpo with an M. And Kenpo with an N, is principally from Ed Parker, which you could call Hawaiian Kenpo, which eventually became American Kenpo. Yeah, that's what White Tiger style Kung Fu is based upon. And that's a more modern style of Kung Fu, much more, well, it is very much based on Kung Fu. There's a lot of Kung Fu in it, but sorry, it's not Kung Fu. It's Kenpo, right? And see, the term Kung Fu means hard work over time, and you could add, like, towards mastery of a certain discipline. But saying that, like, everything's Kung Fu then. Like, when you look at the actual definition of Kung Fu, everything's Kung Fu, right? That's why these classifications bother me. I almost see myself as being somebody that is Kung Fu, that is karate, that is a ninja, that is a Muay Thai fighter, that is like, dude, seriously. I just watch videos, I read books, and I absorb every martial art that I come across. How could I not? As a martial artist, as a self-respecting martial artist, how could I not? And all the friends I meet on TikTok, all the teachers I meet on TikTok, I absorb what they're teaching. With very few exceptions. There's a few instructors that have been very rude to me, for instance, that I refuse to learn from. But other than those people, I'm going to learn from everybody I can and take all the wisdom I can. And maybe I disagree with people, but I'm still going to listen to what they have to say and consider it. And maybe in my own experience, in my own sparring, in my own self-defense situations, I might find, oh, that guy was right. And then I change my whole perspective on the subject. And I think that in Zen, they said to have a beginner's mind. And in karate, they say to have, a white belt's perspective. And that's it's almost like the black belts are the best white belts. You know, that's because they see themselves as students, as white belts. They're here to learn. They're truly submitted to learning this art, and that's why they have become a black belt, is because they're forever students, if you will. But anyways, blessings to everyone.